The smell of jasmine tea drifted through the kitchen window as Michelle Dawson sliced carrots at the counter, her phone buzzing softly beside her. It was a quiet Tuesday evening in their suburban home. Too quiet, maybe. Andrew, her husband of 10 years, had texted just minutes ago, "Work emergency. Don't wait up. I'll probably be home late." Not unusual. Andrew worked in real estate, and last-minute showings or late-night closings were part of the job. Still, something in Michelle's gut felt off. Not suspicious, just unsettled. Their 12-year-old son, Jamie, sat at the dining table flipping through his math homework. He glanced at her phone and frowned. "Mom," he said casually. "Who's Amelia?" Michelle looked up. "What do you mean?" Jamie slid her phone toward her. "That just popped up. Look," Michelle picked up the phone. The screen still showed the preview of a new iMessage. The name was unfamiliar. "Amelia, I miss you already. Can't wait for tomorrow. Same room?" Michelle stared at it. Wait, that wasn't her message. That was Andrew's? She opened the Messages app. Her hands trembled as she realized what she was looking at. Somehow, maybe through iCloud Sync, Andrew's messages had started appearing on her phone. She scrolled up. What she saw made her skin crawl. There were dozens of messages, flirty, intimate, familiar, photos, voice notes, late-night check-ins. "You looked so beautiful this morning. Counting hours till I see you. Wish you were in my bed right now." Michelle felt her knees weaken. She stood up abruptly, forcing a calm tone. "Jamie, go wash your hands. Dinner's almost ready." He nodded and left the room. The moment she was alone, Michelle locked herself in the downstairs bathroom, her breath catching in her throat. She scrolled faster. And then she saw it. A photo. A woman wearing Andrew's shirt, their shirt, taken in a hotel mirror. And then an ultrasound photo. Caption: "We're having a girl." Michelle's mouth opened, but no sound came out. It wasn't just an affair. It was another life, another child. And it had all been happening while she was home raising Jamie, holding their family together, believing in a lie. Michelle stared at the screen, her reflection dim in the black glass. Her own face looked foreign, pale, stiff, eyes wide with disbelief. She scrolled, not because she wanted to see more, but because she couldn't stop. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash. Horrifying, yet impossible to look away. The woman's name was definitely Amelia. Blonde, young, and clearly pregnant. Michelle read a thread from the week before. Amelia: "The doctor says she's growing perfectly. Are you going to tell your wife soon?" Andrew: "Soon. It's complicated. I just need a little more time." That last message made Michelle's stomach turn. He wasn't just cheating. He was planning a transition, a swap. As if she and Jamie were furniture he'd grown tired of. She wanted to scream, smash something, call him and curse every cell in his body, but she didn't. Instead, she took screenshots, all of them, the ultrasound, the hotel reservations, the baby registry link Amelia had sent, even Andrew's messages about the life he couldn't wait to start. Then, she backed them up in a hidden cloud folder just in case. Later that night, when Andrew finally came home, after 11 p.m., he smelled like cologne she didn't wear. "Long day," he sighed, dropping his keys. He kissed her on the cheek like nothing was wrong. She froze. Her skin crawled where his lips had touched. "You look tired," she said, forcing her voice to stay level. "Want some tea?" "Sure," he said, loosening his tie. In the kitchen, as the kettle boiled, Michelle stared at the knife block. Her hands clenched the counter until her knuckles turned white. She wasn't the kind of woman who broke plates or threw punches. But in that moment, something inside her snapped, quietly. She handed him the tea and watched him sip it. "So," she said, still calm, "how's Amelia?" Andrew froze. His eyes flicked up, barely. But Michelle caught it. That fraction of a second where all the color drained from his face. "What?" he said, trying to smile. "You heard me." He didn't answer. Michelle leaned in, her voice sharp as glass. "I know everything. The texts, the ultrasound, the hotel. Don't insult me with lies." Andrew sat back in his chair, silent. Michelle's voice dropped. "You want to leave? Do it. But you're not taking my son with you." For the first time in 10 years, Andrew looked afraid. Andrew didn't speak for several seconds. His jaw twitched, his tea untouched in his hand. Michelle watched him carefully. In the past, he would have denied it. He would have laughed, told her she was paranoid, gaslit her until she questioned reality. But not this time. Not with evidence. "Look," he finally said, placing the mug down gently. "I never meant for it to go this far." Michelle laughed, a single sharp burst of disbelief. "You never meant to get someone pregnant?" Andrew winced. "I didn't plan it, it just happened. Amelia was different. We connected." "Different," Michelle snapped. "From your wife? Your son? Your entire life?" Andrew stood up slowly, like a man trying to keep control of a crumbling facade. "I've felt empty for years, Michelle. You know that. We don't talk anymore. You're always with Jamie. I just needed something for myself." Michelle crossed her arms, her voice trembling. "So your something was a new life? A new child?" He didn't answer. The silence stretched, thick with betrayal. Then she asked the question she had been dreading. "Were you planning to leave us?" Andrew hesitated. "I was going to tell you. Eventually." That word, eventually, hit harder than a slap. She had given him her life, her youth, and he had planned to walk away like it was a lease he could cancel. Michelle didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply picked up her phone, opened the photo of the ultrasound, and held it in front of his face. "I'm saving this, and everything else." Andrew's face hardened. "What do you want from me? I said I was sorry." Michelle stepped forward. "I want you to know that I'm not stupid, that I will never let you rewrite this story. You don't get to play victim. You made this choice, and I'll make mine." She turned and left the room, slamming the door behind her. That night, she began making calls. Divorce attorney, therapist, her sister, Lily, in Ohio, who had a spare bedroom. She didn't sleep, because she had decided. She wasn't going to break, she was going to burn clean. If you've felt the pain of betrayal, or seen someone you love destroyed by it, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because what comes next will shake you even deeper. 3 days later, Michelle sat in the lawyer's office, trying not to let her hands shake as she signed the initial divorce petition. Her attorney, a stern woman named Caroline Nwosu, didn't waste time on sympathy. "You have everything you need, proof of infidelity, concealment, and financial misconduct. He doesn't stand a chance in court." Michelle nodded. "I don't want revenge. I want my son, my peace." "You'll get both," Caroline said. But peace, Michelle would soon learn, wasn't something easily won. That night, after putting Jamie to bed, she heard the knock. It was almost 10 p.m. She hesitated before opening the door and froze when she saw her. Amelia. In person, the woman looked even younger. Barely 30, with wide eyes, a slight baby bump, and a kind of nervous elegance. "Can I talk to you?" she asked quietly. Michelle didn't move. "Why would I let you inside my house?" "Because I didn't know," Amelia whispered. "I didn't know he was still living with you. I thought you were divorced years ago. He told me you were abusive, that you were keeping his son from him." Michelle's heart raced. "And you believed him?" Amelia looked down. "I wanted to. Because I was in love." Michelle opened the door just wide enough to step outside, then closed it behind her. "Say what you came to say." Amelia took a breath. "He lied to both of us. I only realized it when he didn't show up to our last doctor's appointment. I called his office and found out he'd taken a leave. That's when I started digging." She pulled out her phone and showed Michelle a photo. Andrew, at a bank, with a woman Michelle didn't recognize, and a suitcase. "He was opening an account under another name," Amelia said. "I hired a private investigator. He's leaving us both." Michelle stared at the photo, then back at Amelia. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm scared. If he'll lie to both of us like this, what else is he hiding?" Michelle didn't answer. She didn't need to. They both knew the truth. Andrew wasn't just a liar. He was dangerous. The next morning, Michelle couldn't stop pacing. She had barely slept after her conversation with Amelia. The photo of Andrew at the bank haunted her. That wasn't the action of a man preparing for fatherhood. It was the move of someone preparing to disappear. Michelle called Caroline, her lawyer. "Can you freeze his accounts?" "We'll move fast," Caroline assured her. "But if he's shifting funds under aliases, we'll need court orders." Michelle hung up and began gathering every document she could find. Tax records, shared bank statements, insurance papers, Jamie's school enrollment forms. If Andrew was running, she was going to make sure he had nowhere to go. But then, another knock. Midday this time, and this time it wasn't Amelia. 2 police officers stood on her porch. "Mrs. Dawson?" one of them asked gently. "We need to speak with you regarding your husband." Her throat tightened. "What happened?" "We received a call from an anonymous source last night. Claimed your husband has been transferring money through shell companies and using false IDs." Michelle didn't even blink. "It's true." The officers exchanged a glance. "We'd like to ask you a few questions. Maybe come down to the station?" Michelle nodded slowly. "Let me call someone to stay with my son." At the station, everything she had been afraid of started falling into place. Andrew hadn't just betrayed her heart. He'd built a web of deception that extended into real estate fraud, offshore accounts, and now, possible identity theft. Amelia had filed her own complaint that morning, providing everything her investigator had found. It turned out Andrew had another name. Daniel Shaw. That was the name on the lease of a second apartment, one he had been quietly maintaining for almost a year. The investigators believed he was planning to flee the country with funds laundered through fake property deals. Michelle sat in the interrogation room, stunned. All this time, she had thought she was dealing with a cheating husband. She hadn't realized she was married to a criminal. That evening, as she returned home, she found a package on her doorstep. No return address. Inside, a burner phone. Only one message on it. "Don't trust Amelia. She's not who you think she is." Michelle dropped the phone like it burned her. Everything was unraveling fast, and now she didn't know who to believe. Michelle stared at the burner phone on the kitchen counter, its screen still glowing. The message repeated in her head like a warning bell. "Don't trust Amelia." It made no sense, or maybe it made too much. Her gut twisted. Was Amelia really another victim, or had she been part of Andrew's plan all along? She didn't sleep that night. Her mind flipped through every conversation, every glance, every word Amelia had said, and something didn't sit right. How did Amelia know where she lived? Why had she shown up without being invited? And that photo of Andrew, was it real or planted? The next day, Michelle called the private investigator Amelia claimed to have hired. She expected a receptionist. Instead, she got a recording. "This number is not in service." Her blood ran cold. She rushed upstairs into the guest room where she had let Amelia stay the previous night. Empty. The bed untouched. The window is open. Gone. Michelle's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She picked up. "Hello? Michelle." The voice was male, hoarse, desperate. "It's Andrew." Her heart stopped. "I know you hate me. I deserve it. But listen, Amelia's not who you think. Her real name is Clara Wren. She's not pregnant. She's been playing both sides, mine and yours." Michelle didn't speak. "She used me to funnel money," Andrew continued. "But when I backed out, she threatened to destroy everything. That's why I ran. I thought I could protect you and Jamie. But now I think she's after something else." "What does she want?" Michelle whispered. "You." The call disconnected. Michelle stood frozen, her body shaking, her mind racing. Everything was a lie layered over another lie. But one thing was clear, the game wasn't over, not yet. Later that night, as she tucked Jamie into bed, she kissed his forehead and whispered, "No matter what happens, I'll protect you." Downstairs, she locked every door, every window, set up the security camera app on her phone, and slept with the burner phone on the nightstand. Because in this story, the truth wasn't just shocking, it was still unfolding. If betrayal had a face, would you recognize it or love it first? Could you ever really know the person lying next to you?